Ortega is out against Korean Zombie. Frankie Edgar is in. How cool is that? I mean, how cool is that for Frankie Edgar? Look, don't forget, guys, Frankie Edgar left 145 pounds to go down to 135 pounds. He has a fight signed, announced. I can only imagine in Frankie's life, he's got to be cutting weight. And by cutting weight, let's rephrase that. I mean, he's going to have to change his lifestyle to get down to 135, even if it's slightly, but he's got to do it. He's already started that. He's making the dissension. His phone rings. Hey, we got an opportunity. Oh, by the way, it's a main event. It's 5 rounds. Oh, by the way, it's against a straight-up killer that nobody wants to fight. Oh, by the way, it's in that killer's hometown. And oh, by the way, it's back up at featherweight. Frankie? Okay, click. I mean, come on. He gets some credit here, right? He gets some respect. He gets his due. You know, Frankie Edgar is my favorite fighter. And I've told this story a number of times, but I like to retell it every couple of years to just tell you why he's my favorite fighter. It's not just because he's so fun to watch or because he does cool things like this, though that does help. I like the example that he sets for the guys at the back. When you have a world champion, a veteran world champion that guys look up to and admire, and then he sets the right example for the locker room, it's a cool thing. Frankie's my favorite fighter because we fought on the same card together. And he was getting ready to fight. It was either Gray Maynard for the second time, and there's a part of me that thinks it was Benson Henderson for like the third time. I cannot recall who his opponent was, but it was for the world championship. And Frankie was the champion. He was going out to defend. It was a big night. He was the main event. I was underneath him on the card. When I get done, I'm walking to the back, and this kid is all dressed up in fight gear. He's got like a book. It was like UFC. He's got like a hardcover book. You open it up, there's all these pictures and stories. He's got a tap-out hat on. He's got a tap-out shirt on or a UFC shirt. He's even got wristbands. I was sponsored by Tap Out back then, and I don't even remember them having wristbands. I mean, this kid looks the part. It's like 11 years old, and as I'm walking the apron to go to the back, all sweaty, my match is over, he comes running up, and I see him, and I just remember being that kid. I used to be that kid at pro wrestling shows with my buddy Justin, and we would go early to the ticketing company. We'd make them show us the schematics of the arena, show us where the guys are walking out, and we would buy tickets right on that rail. So we could slap them, we could slap their hands, touch them. You know, it was a cool place to sit for us. So when I saw this kid, I know that kid. That's me. I know that role. So I stop what I'm doing, and I go over, and I said, you want to meet the guys? And he said, yeah. And I said, all right, who's your dad? And this guy speaks up and goes, I'm his dad. And I said, I will bring him back. And I just reach over and take the kid. I think I put him on my shoulders, but we go walking out. We go in the back, and we're going all the locker rooms. We're walking the hallways, this room and that room. We're meeting everybody. And he's got his book with him. He's got a pin. So we're getting all the pictures, all the fun. I mean, he's having a great moment. I walk into a room, which leads to another room. So I'm just opening doors. Backstage of an arena, guys, you're in a tunnel. Those are concrete walls, concrete floors. I mean, you're just I don't know where I am, so I'm just opening doors. That's the point I'm trying to make. Well, I open a door, Frankie's in there with his team, and they're doing that very final thing you do before you make that walk. I know the look. I know that's a private matter. That's a private moment. That's part of the visualization process that you have thought about every single night of training camp. They are in a moment, and I just interrupted it. I did not, and all I said when I said, Frankie, I am so sorry. I did not know you were in here. And I'm starting to back out. And Frankie stops me and goes, no. Who do you got here? So I answered his question. I said, well, this is Ty. He's a big fan. Came out here to watch you. And I was going to ask for an autograph. But we will obviously do this another time. And Frankie, no, hold on. I'll do it. Now, by this time, they've come to get him. The UFC has come. Frankie, come on, let's go. And don't forget, you're on live television. There's no wait. There's no, hey, I'll see you in a minute. I'll see you when I'm ready. Well, yeah, it was. Frankie, no. Got to do this kid's art. Finds the picture, does the right, signs the whole thing, walks out, defends the world championship. So you can't have an experience with a guy like that, and then that guy's not your favorite forever, right? You just can't. To finish that story, though, that was in 2011. about 6 months ago, I was in New York, and I'm walking across a street in New York, and some young man yells to me, "Chael, Chael." I look over, and he's happy to see me, and I'm trying to draw a blank, don't recognize him, and he goes, "I don't think you remember me, but you took me in the back at a UFC when I was a little kid, when I was 11 years old." And I did remember. I go, "Ty?" Called him right by his name, and he's like, "Yes, I'm Ty." Well, he was all great. He's a man now, right? He was a little boy with his dad when I saw him. Now he's a man out on the streets of New York with his buddies. But that story paid off, and it was just a cool moment. And I do think that when you have somebody like Frankie, particularly in the situation that Frankie's in, left the weight class, going down to 135, scheduled, I don't believe his next fight was a main event. I don't even know that it was a co-main event, but the point is, I believe, could be wrong, I believe it was a 3-round fight. Well, all of a sudden, he's going to fill in on short notice in a different weight class, in a different country, against a top opponent. I mean, Korean Zombie is a monster to the highest of levels, and he's going to do it for 5 rounds? I think another question, though, is what does this mean for Frankie's career? And I don't know how to answer that. I do also not know that Frankie could answer it. Let me tell you in this way. Frankie's plan was to go to 135 pounds, and his only reason for doing that is he wants the world championship. That's it. Not scared of 145 pounder, not too small for 145 pounders. A path to a championship is a little bit clearer for me. At 135, boom, I'm going down. Okay, well, not so fast, right? I mean, he's back in a main event, and everything's against him, and he's going to be an underdog. And he's against what? I don't even know what Zombie's ranked. Do you guys? He's got to be top 5. I would assume that he's 3. I would assume that he's still got Zabit, right? I would assume he's 3. The point is this. Frankie goes in there, beats Korean Zombie. Imagine that happens. Oh, by the way, what if at the time Frankie gets in there and gets the jump on the Zombie, if it goes that way, what if Max is no longer champion? I mean, just to give you guys a scenario, all of a sudden Volkanovski is the champion. Well, now everything just changed for Frankie Edgar in terms of having a path to a title shot. That's fresh blood. That's fresh parity. I mean, who knows where it's going to go? I'm not making a prediction for you. I just am reminding you. Things change quickly. Put yourself in positions to succeed. When your phone rings, answer it. And then say yes. That's what Frankie has done. Right now, he's in a tremendous position for success.